What's going on, everybody? Just want to do a video when it comes down to my experience so far with being in a ketogenic lifestyle, especially during contest prep. I mean, currently 6.5, 8.5, and 9.5 weeks out from stepping on stage. You know, it's going by super quick. 25.5 weeks already down into prep. So these are the coming weeks that, you know, really do matter. I mean, all of them matter, but these are the ones that are your mentality is really getting tested. You know, throughout this prep, you know, my body almost seems like it's been fighting to get lean. I mean, it's been almost 2 years since I've actually competed. Took the time to get away from the stage, and thinking that was probably the best approach to be able to get into a surplus of calories, get my body into a good position to start gaining some really good muscle tissue, and it did. But it seems like my body adapts to change and adjustments fairly quickly. Like every couple weeks there had to be an adjustment to my plan. And it's not like it's frustrating, it's just that that's how bodies go. Everybody's different, and I like to think that every prep is a little different, and this one especially has been. You know, taking 32, 34, and 35 weeks to really condition myself into the best possible me come, you know, April and May. You know, I think that's been the best so far. But yeah, going from eating 3,600 calories down to 18, basically half of my intake over the course of 25.5 weeks, you know, definitely takes its toll. So, you know, instead of continually dropping carbs and possibly fat, you know, we just switch over to keto and see what happens, see if that type of change will yield some better progress, some good fat loss, and restart the progress again. And so quite the change up, because honestly I haven't really done a true ketogenic approach. So for me, I'm all about changing it up and just trying something new to see what the body would do. And oddly enough, you know, making the transition from, you know, using carbohydrates as a main fuel source to fat, I think these last 2.5 weeks have been a lot different, a lot better. So my macros are, wait for it, 130 grams of fat, and I'm only netting about 20 grams of carb. Really just aiming for about 40 grams overall total, and then most of it's fibrous, of course. And then my protein is like 105 to 110. You know, in typical fitness world, bodybuilding, you're gonna get a lot of what the heck, man, your protein is too low. Like, you're gonna lose a lot of your muscle, you're gonna lose your gains. But since I'm in a deficit, fat, you know, tends to be muscle sparing. So if your fat's high enough and your protein is just moderate, you know, it should be okay. And luckily, you know, I calculated my lean body mass, so divided by into kilos, and then multiply that by even just 1.5 grams. It turns out to be around that anyway. So I really don't need excessive amounts. Like, if I were to use keto in a building phase, I could probably increase my protein a little bit more and still be in ketosis. But for right now, keeping it lower puts me in a better position to get the higher ketone levels, to really be full-blown, getting the benefit of being in ketosis, especially during the prep. And so I've had to switch all my food. So when I got the switch up, I already did shopping for the week. I'm like, ah, crap. So my wife has been eating a lot of my low carb stuff, and she's not dieting or anything, so she gets to eat so much food because there's so much volume. But for me, I couldn't eat most of my stuff because it was lower fat, higher protein, and carbs. So, but luckily, you know, I was able to go shopping and, man, tearing up some foods that I just would never have been able to eat unless I went keto. I'm talking like brisket, doing some corned beef brisket, doing some, you know, these fatty meats, because I just don't need as much protein. So I can eat 80-20 beef. You know, you can eat these heavy duty fat bomb, you know, protein sources and not worry about it. I could have, you know, full fat cheese and, you know, cream cheese, full fat, you know, and just really watching how much fiber I'm getting, how much net carbs I'm getting. So I'm really aiming towards like spinach, mushrooms, asparagus, avocado. You know, I've been able to eat macadamia nuts, the freaking highest, one of the highest fatty nuts out there. You know, and I'm just been watching my sodium, magnesium, and potassium because those are big hitters when it comes down to ketosis. So it's been really well. So I would say that a lot of people will experience like the keto flu or the signs and symptoms of getting into ketosis because it is quite the change up for the body. You know, and you know, you get dizziness, you get headaches, you get nausea, you know, because your body is going through these withdrawals. It was primary focus of getting like, where's the carbs at? So luckily I didn't actually end up having any of that, and I could probably attribute that to, hey, maybe if I went from like what I was doing in the building phase, went from like 450, 500 gram carb down to net carb of, you know, 15 to 20 grams, I'd probably want to die. But, you know, I was already at 150, I was getting like 40 to 50 grams of fiber anyway. So I think the transition didn't hit me as hard because I was already lower carb, number one, and just having the right amounts of electrolytes coming in. I think that's one thing that most people don't tend to do, is they just go straight into, oh, I'm just going to go from 0 to 100 and not really pay attention to my electrolytes, not realizing that you're flushing a lot of this stuff out during that first few days. And so luckily I was taking in 5 to 7 grams of sodium, 2 to 3 grams of potassium, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of magnesium, and had no issues, no headaches, no signs and symptoms of the keto flu. And you know, performance in the gym, it felt weird not to have any oatmeal before my gym time. I actually just took in about 1,200, 1,500 milligrams of sodium through beef broth, chicken broth, and about 25, 30 grams of fat. And you know, quite the different experience, but it really wasn't a big deal. Like, my performance in the gym seemed to be okay, no issues. So it hasn't really impacted my ability to lift with intensity in the gym, which is very surprising to me. The biggest benefit overall, though, as you cut carbs down, you know, in a typical world, you get the brain fog, you know, along with just like, you're just not happy, you're hungry. But I am not feeling like that. I'm not hungry. The mental clarity is so much better. You know, I'm not getting these moments of, like, these frequent moments of brain fog. Don't get me wrong, I'm like tired, but my mental health seems to be a lot better in this ketogenic lifestyle. So those are the biggest benefits so far. My weight currently is like 156. So since being on keto, I've lost a little over 5 pounds, and over the course of 2.5 weeks. So we just have to continue to ride that train. I know I'm in ketosis. I use keto sticks, like urine sticks, but I mainly just do it in the morning because that's when it's highly concentrated, but it's not a reliable source. So I actually got a blood ketone checker, you know, and so I check it. It's interesting because your blood ketones will vary throughout the course of the day, but as long as you're above, you know, 0.5 millimoles per deciliter to, you know, all the way up to 2 or 3, you are good to go, man. If you're really into that 1 to 2, you're getting the full benefit. 2 to 3 is like, that is you're like spidey senses ketosis, in my opinion. So that's the biggest thing, is I know that I'm falling in line with being in the 1.1 to 2.2 millimoles per deciliter in ketone levels, no matter what time of day I'm checking. So I know that I'm in ketosis. I know I'm using fat as a fuel source. So I know my body composition is definitely changing. You know, along with that, you know, I think just overall, it's quite the transition. People have asked me, do you think I'm going to go keto and keep along with that even post competition? To be honest with you, I could see myself doing this for quite a while, and just because it's so satiating and palatable, it'd be fun to just experiment with it as I go into a building phase. You know, I don't want to go hella get fat, you know, right after contest prep, and you know, just get out of keto and just start eating a ton of carbs again. But I'll probably end up doing, like, experimenting around like cyclic keto, and you know, play around with the idea and see what kind of results I can get. I think that's the biggest thing, is that you have to be willing and open to try new approaches, because just because one approach is doing really well for you doesn't mean like that's the only approach that's going to work well for you. So having an open mind and being willing to try new things definitely opens up new opportunities. And plus, as a coach myself, being able to test this stuff on myself and see what my body does allows me more experience to help other people, how to really implement it, how to get people out of it, you know, how to keep people in it and still make proper progress even in the building phase. So I think there's so many opportunities that are wasted, or just not gained, because people are they're just stuck in their own element of, this is the only thing that works for me, or this has been working for me, why would I ever change it? I'm like, yeah, but you're limiting your ability to be better, in my opinion. And so that's kind of the synopsis of what's been going on, guys, with Ketogenic. Feeling pretty good. I mean, considering with all the being in prep for this long, I think I'm doing pretty good mentality-wise and energy-wise. But you know, we'll see what happens in these next remaining weeks before I get to the stage. Other than that, if there's any like comments, if you guys have more questions around other things around Ketogenic, you know, definitely let me know. Have a good one.